during my 2 years of treatment, this is in 1999 to 2000, the internet was up and buzzing, certainly, but we didn't have some of these. Today we have a lot of these websites that people can go to and journal and things like that. So it was suggested that I write. So what I knew how to do was to write emails, So I started an email list that I would put, if I had something to say, even if it was feelings, all that. I'm probably not wicked strong on the feeling stuff, but more about the facts. And I looked at it as a little bit of an educational thing for my friends. And what started out with being maybe 20 or 30 people on an email list, ultimately over the end of 2 years became 300 or 400. And so I would write the emails in, pretty chirpy way. So they had the facts, if you will. Like, I had surgery yesterday for this, that, and the other, and they did this and this and this, and this is the outcome, and now we'll wait for X and Y. And so I had all this, and my friends at the end of a couple of years said, we hold our breath every time we get an email, but everybody was riveted to this story because it had bizarre twists in it. And it was sort of interesting to me that people would really care. But I looked at it as I'm educating all the other women friends about these things, these boobs that we wanted so badly when we were young would turn out to be such a pain in the ass, that, who knew, I always say, I have the t-shirt that says, yes, these are fake. My real ones tried to kill me. And I proudly wear that, and people, I can see people try to read it, and they're like, oh, and then they sort of laugh, and we have some fun with the whole thing. So the emails were there, and I had a great friend, Joan Dow, and she is a writer, and she's like, we need to do a book. You need to take all of those emails and you need to put them in a book because it has a happy ending sort of throughout the process. Plus, we created a huge fundraiser that went on for 12 years in the state of Maine called Cure Breast Cancer for Me Luncheon. We did a luncheon October 1st every year. And we had just some fabulous stories that we would weave together and documentaries that we would present each year. So we started out that, and then it was suggested that we write in and amongst this medical story, the dating story. And so we started trying to insert little sniglets of some of these dating stories and sort of in fact that it was really interesting, but the bottom line is I didn't meet any man that was like, I don't care that you're sick, I think you're a lovely person. I didn't meet anybody like that. They all were just like, wow, you seem like a really great person, have a nice life. Although a few people wanted to be on my list. They were added, they're like, we'd like to follow your story, but nobody wanted to date me. And so I did find that after a year or so, I calmed down a little bit. It makes it sound like I'm this rabid, like, wild rapist or something here. God. Serial woman on the loose. But I think it was all just as a result of time. And I thought, damn, I'm 43 years old and I'm single and I'm getting older and I may not be here, for that much longer, and I'd like to have a date. So this friend of mine, Joan, wrote the little parts and pieces, and we've strung it together. We've had different titles, but the title we have is that it's called Dating Without, and it's a little carrot with the word real, boobs. So dating without real boobs, and then breast cancer in the single woman, because when it really comes down to it, it's a lot about how I had to deal with my 3 kids. My youngest was 7, so there's that piece of it as well, and how each of my kids dealt with it in a completely different way. My oldest son was sort of factual about it. My middle son was in denial. If we don't talk about it, it won't be really happening. And I would talk to his school, and he would like, Mom, would you just please not talk to my school anymore, because I go to school and they're checking on me, because I had the school on full alert to, let me know how the kids are handling this, and who knows how it will manifest itself. And then my youngest son, when I told them, he was he recoiled, and he's like, don't breathe on me. I don't want to catch cancer. So we had a lot of education. So that's how the book came to be. And of course, so we have this single piece, the dating piece, parts of it, and just trying to deal with putting your family back together and going on. And it's a huge gift because it puts you on your ass and says, cut it out, stop. You have to think about it for a minute. Is your life going the direction you want? Are you doing what you want to do? And to do that, and aren't we lucky that it happens when we're at an age where you could change something, as opposed to being 80 years old and going, well, I coulda, shoulda, woulda.